Did XRP just get its greatest partnership of all time? Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, moneymakers. We got a lot to talk about today. So let's get into it. Currently, XRP is sitting at $1.41. XRP pulled back with the rest of the crypto market last night. You can see there was this sell off coming into futures opening up. There was some liquidations. You can see this kind of sell-off here that happened for XRP. It wasn't just XRP. It was Bitcoin. It was Ethereum. It was Solana. It was everybody that suddenly it's in the morning sold off here. Monday morning sell-off coming into potential pre-market again with shenanigans. You can see here lots of volume in this about 10, 15, 20 minutes time period. No clear signal to why it did happen. We do have all these things happening this week. Of course, we talked about this last night. If you missed it, we're going to go over really quick. Today, we have to see what's going to happen with the US market reaction. So far, pre-market stocks are kind of a mixed bag. The S&P 500 is slightly in the red, but you can see since it's also sold off here this morning, but when the futures open up, it did come up a little bit. And so we'll see what will happen with that. We also have on Wednesday the Fed meeting and the decision, big earnings that are coming out on Wednesday and Thursday, GDP on Thursday, PCE on Thursday. About 20% of the S&P 500 companies are coming out with reports this week, so it could be a very volatile week. And like we said, we saw the crypto market, we saw the stock market pulling back a little bit this morning. The crypto market took a little bit of a bigger hit because of liquidations. Stock market doesn't have liquidation, so that kind of created a rolling snowball there, and we saw the total crypto market pull back. But by the time you're watching this video, and I'm recording a little bit later today, the market might be back up. So this is, again, I told you this last night, we could see the volatility continue here, the ups and downs, the roller coaster, whoa, right? Continue in the crypto market. So we need to take this into consideration. Senator Thomas Tills backs Kevin Warsh for Fed chair after the Department of Justice dropped his criminal probe into Jerome Powell. Tills says the investigation would only reopen if the Fed's Inspector General recommends charges tied to the cost overruns in the Fed building renovations. With Tills supports, Warsh confirmation is now all but assured. So it seems that is basically confirmed. So that is already good. And this is what's going on with the Iran-US situation. Axios, according to Axios, Iran offers U.S. a new proposal to reopen the strait. Iran via Pakistan. Mediators gave U.S. the new proposal, and Iran nuclear negotiation postponed for a later stage. What was interesting was we did see China's largest private refiner fell 10% after U.S. imposed sanctions over alleged purchase of Iranian oil. So that could continue happen, but we haven't seen oil move too significantly. As you can see, there wasn't a pop or a drop there, so we'll see what will happen. But this is how headlines can move billions, right? Iran reportedly offered U.S. a new proposal, right? We just talked about that. Bloomberg flashed it as a red headline. Market pumped on the news. However, this exact story was public 11 hours earlier. They sat on it until the US markets opened, carefully timing the narrative. So that maybe is why we saw a pump and then a dump there, right? Remember, we saw the market come up a little bit and then sell off. Same thing with the stock market, right? We had a rise here and then it sold off. Could be similar. Actually, let's look at the oil prices. Right. Actually, interesting. Oil also sold off, but it actually only happened over the last hour or so. When the crypto market and stock market was dropping, here it dropped and then came back up. So interesting, right? Oil is the inverse of what's happening with the stock market and crypto. But again, crypto sells off a little bit more because of the leverage, right? If we go and we look at how much was liquidated here over the past 12 hours, you can see that Ethereum 38 on the long, but also 35 on the short. Both ways are getting liquidated right now, and 34 and 27. XRP not really that much, 868 and 184,000. Most of the liquidations are happening right now between Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it will be very interesting to see how today eventually plays out. We are looking at an okay month. April is about to get its first green print in 6 years. Although last year was also our strongest month in 6 years. Good April usually leads into strong May and June. That's what we saw last year, where June, July was very, very strong. So maybe we'll see something similar like this. Although usually the 2022, you can see April, May, and June were significantly red in that year that you could parallel it to this year with the midterm elections. So again, as always, I just want to remind you that I don't know what the market is going to do day to day. As always, this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Also, remember that I will never contact you on social media asking to sign up to anything or to send me any money. Those are scammers, those imposters. Please be very careful out there. And the former CTO of Ripple just reminded us that there's also these kinds of attacks. He says here, warning, any emails you get that appear to be from Robinhood and may actually be from their email system are phishing attempts. And this is the example that he posted here. So be very careful if you get a weird email saying you logged in or there was a login and put in your information or click here. Always be careful of what's going on. I've seen this actually recently with the Netflix also happening. And so just be careful, that you contact Robinhood directly or you log into the app. And don't click on any links of weird emails that even look that they're coming from the domain, because they can also domain spoof or give a domain that looks very, very close. So just be careful with that. Okay. And now some very interesting partnerships that are happening right now with Ripple. The first one is with, maybe it's the biggest, we could say, market cap one that Ripple has ever seen, with Subway. Bum, ba, da, bum. Subway is partnering with Ripple Treasury. Remember, that's the open road. And Subway, it says here, has partnered with Ripple. And so this is a very interesting situation that is happening right now. I don't know what this potentially means for XRP, but even if they use use Ripple Treasury, then maybe corporate funds could be transferred over Hidden Road or Ripple Prime, which we've talked about before. So this would be very interesting. And we also have another partner, South Korea's K-Bank, is partnering with Ripple on tests on-chain cross-border remittance, I always mess up that word, to countries including the UAE and Thailand. K-Bank is sole banking partner for crypto exchange Upbit, giving it access to 15 million users. Remember, Upbit is one of the biggest exchange in South Korea. And we know that many times it's even top of the charts regarding volume for XRP, because the South Koreans love trading XRP. So that is, of course, a good update there from that. And so potentially we'll see what will happen here today. Very, very interesting. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think? We've kind of been a little bit of a letdown because we did get a crossover here on the 1348 EMA, but it seems like we might be having a fake out, right? A crossover and then a pullback. And it's not XRP's fault, but the market has just been consolidating for the last week. And so that's what's keeping XRP down. As you can see, consolidation, although Bitcoin is looking kind of strong. Solana never had that crossover. If we go to the 4-hour chart, it's getting concerning that we might have a crossover from the top to the bottom. But although you can see that previously when we did have a red one, we got the green one very, very quick. And there was a turnaround. I don't remember what was happening here. Maybe there was news or maybe there was momentum. And so that happened. But right now, I know the price action for XRP isn't that sexy. And it's okay. I was just talking with friends. That's why I'm a little bit late. I went to service my car and I went visit old friends from my old job. And we were talking about it and we were saying, there's ups and downs in the market. By the way, they didn't even know, my friend, that I've been trying to meet up with him for a while. Every time I came, he wasn't there because they work kind of hybrid. So I made it a point to come on a day that he was there, and he didn't even know what the markets were doing. He didn't know that the S&P was all-time high. He didn't know what was going on with crypto. He didn't know what happened on October 10th. He didn't know anything. So that just gave me validation that a lot of people don't even know what's going on with the crypto market. They don't know what's going on with the stock market. And it just reminds me that we're still in the beginning of the situation. This is a smart guy, a guy who works in a high tech company, an engineer, and yet he doesn't know what's going on with the crypto market. I was like, what's going on here? So that just gave me another reminder that we're still at the beginning of this whole thing, even though President Trump said that crypto has gone more mainstream. Only we talked about this last night. Under 10% of the world's population owns crypto. So there's still a huge amount of people that are still in the dark about the crypto market. And it brings me great confidence for the future. Again, day to day, I don't know what the market is going to do, what's the headlines going to be, what Iran is going to say, what Trump is going to do, what the Clarity Act is going to play out. But long term, I'm still very, very bullish on the crypto market. Again, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm right about that. Time will only tell. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Will this be a good week? For a good week, put thumbs up, and for a bad week, put thumbs down. Right? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.